What's up, everybody? Kalpka here, and today we are talking about the most anticipated build for Sorcerer for Season 4, and we get to test it out on Tuesday on the PTR to share what it looks like and how it feels. I think it's going to be fantastic. The new Frozen Orb summons build, so shout out to do things. Shout out to AO for letting me know that D4 Builder already had some way to like build a build on season 4, so we could have it kind of ready for when the PTR comes out. I'll link his YouTube channel in the description below. Thank you, AO. And then also shout out to D4 Builders, man. Like, you guys already got some stuff in the works for season 4. You guys are doing some massive coding, so great job. And I love using your website for making builds. So awesome work. So let's go right into it. But before I like show you guys like my ideas behind it, and this isn't going to be like a big uber unique build because I don't know if we're going to get any uber uniques on the PTR. So this is just going to be a couple uniques with mostly legendary aspects. So we should all able to get this if we're playing the PTR and test it out. So but before we go into it, I want to go over some of the patch notes that actually make this build like extremely viable, and that should be something that's going to be really special in season 4. So Frozen Orb got like huge buffs, just the regular spell Frozen Orb. So it is doing more damage. It has a better explosion damage as well. Greater enhanced Frozen Orb and greater Frozen Orb will also buff. So like basically every aspect of the skill tree of this actual skill has been buffed. So we're gonna see more damage from Frozen Orb. It makes things vulnerable longer and a higher percentage. So everything's gonna be vulnerable when you're playing with the Frozen Orb builds, which is gonna be fantastic. So there was buffs to all conjure skills. So not just Frozen Orb. So the lightning spear, the ice blades, and the hydra got buffed. So we're gonna see a lot more summon builds because it was, not just the summon builds for sorcerer, but for everyone got kind of got a buff. So we're doing more damage with lightning spear, which is fine. We're gonna have more hydras out. This is gonna be really important as well. So you're gonna see why in just a moment here. Conjure Mastery got buffed. It gives you movement speed and mana regeneration now. So in this build, I don't think we're going to need a mana aspect like Prodigy or anything to give you extra mana per cast or something like that. So Frozen Orbit got buffed, so Frozen Orb is just going to be absolutely insane. So this is the aspect, so now up to 60% of the explosion's going to hit. So this was the huge one, this one right here. Necromancers, Barbarians, Druids, Sorcerers, and Companions now receive 100% of the player attributes. So if you have extra attack speed, if you have skills, ranks to Frozen Orb, if you have extra damage to Vulnerable, if you have, whatever you're increasing your damage with or whatever you're increasing your skills with, it's going to apply to your pets now, or your minions, or whatever you want to call them. So this is like the huge one right here. This is absolutely insane. So even the glyphs that you have, so like just one right here, glyph actually is a multiplicative now instead of additive. So winner was a glyph that was kind of broken, and it is actually a really good glyph. It gives up to 18% multiplicative damage now, and it gives actually bonuses to other nodes that are surrounding it, which is fantastic. So those are the patch notes that made this build like come to life and is going to be absolutely insane. So I'm gonna show you guys the build now because D4, like I said, they put together already a season 4 tab. So if you want to go mess around on your own, you can just go to d4builders.gg, click on your character, and make sure you have the drop down box that says season 4. So this gives you all the aspects. All the aspects are in there. So we don't really have skills fully baked yet, especially with the tempering system, because they didn't release all that information. So we're gonna have to find that out on the PTR. So what we could see today is we could see the aspects, we could see the skill tree, and we could see some Paragon stuff. So this is what I'm gonna make my level 100 on the PTR and hopefully get to this build and test this out and show you guys and make some YouTube videos around that as well. So I'm going to start it off with the unique because I think the unique is like very, very important. Obviously you can't really make this build without this. So what this does is it randomly casts a conjure when you're exploding frozen orbs. So then also what this makes is all your conjures have up to 100% chance lucky hit to launch a frozen orb. So what does this mean? So now we have a bunch of conjures. Like with this build, I kid you not, we could have 10 conjures at a time. And they have a chance to cast Frozen Orb, which is getting all that extra damage from any of the stats you have, any of the Paragon points you have, any of the skill points you put in. So they're getting all your player attributes. So the goal here now is to get some massive lucky hit, right? So as much lucky hit as we can, and then also make sure that we're doing anything to buff our damage, right? So first on the helm, we're gonna have lucky hit on that. Like I said, 20%. Give me that 20% lucky hit right away. We want to be tanky in this build because our main damage is going to come from all of our conjures. They're just going to be casting frozen orbs, so like we want to be tanky. So let's put disobedience on the chest. We need aspect of frozen orbit because this explodes 2 additional times. So that's 2 additional times for 60% of the damage. And we know that when it explodes, we have a chance to cast more conjures. So this is going to help us bring more hydras out, more ice blades out, and more lightning spears out, which is freaking fantastic. So I just put this on the pants. We probably will use a unique pants, but we'll just have this on here for now for extra damage reduction. And then this right here is something I want to test out in the PTR for sure. And it might be a unique later on, but like teleport's cooldown is reduced. I like that. I think teleport is the main kind of defensive item in this build. So if we could lower the cooldown on that, then that would be fantastic. Then I want to have extra hydras, right? So we looked at the patch notes and it showed that we're gonna have 2 hydras off the bat. Now we get 3 hydras off the bat, and we're using the hydra enchantment, so now we're getting 4 hydras off the bat. So man, we're just gonna have so many hydras, and they're burning too, so we don't have to do devouring blaze. So you don't have to have firebolt enchant, which is fantastic. So we're definitely going to be using the serpentine aspect on the weapon or wherever we put it. It's fine. Then we want storm swell aspect because we are going to do vulnerable with everything, with frozen orbs, with lightning spear, with you know with ice blades. Like everything's going to be vulnerable all the time. So we're just going to have an extra 30% damage. We're doing fire, ice, and lightning damage. So Talrash is going to be really good in this build. And then this is a new aspect. Casting a conjuring skill grants you 25% damage reduction 5 seconds. I don't know if this is going to pair up with this, but we got to test it, right? We got to test it on the PTR. So if it doesn't work, this is going in the feedback. Like, let's make this work because like you have 10 conjure skills up. That's 250% damage reduction. I don't know how that's gonna work. I mean, would you just be invincible? Maybe. Like you can't be touched. This is gonna be the tankiest build ever. Plus, you're gonna do crazy damage with it. So, let's get into the skill tree. So, skill tree is we're not even using any of these for enchantment, so it doesn't really matter on the first two. We're doing Frozen Orb, all the way to Greater Frozen Orb, because these are the 3 that were all buffed. These were all buffed. All 3 of these. Fantastic. Elemental Dominance was buffed, so we're doing that. 12% instead of 9%. So huge buff there. We are doing Shimmering Teleport with Glass Cannon, Elemental Attunement, which Elemental Attunement was also buffed and it works with Lucky Hit. We're getting a lot of Lucky Hit, so we want to have that. We are not maxing out any of our summons because the main damage from the summons is actually coming from them casting Frozen Orb. That's like the goal. Like you're gonna have as many summons as you can have out there. It's just to cast Frozen Orb so you can do extra damage, but we need Lucky Hit to get more. So Lucky Hit is buffed as well. It used to be 9%, now it's 15%, which is fantastic. So we are gonna have Land Elements of Protection for the extra barrier, Devouring Blaze, because we are doing burning with the Hydras. So this is something that we're going to play around with. So we might not need the Frigid Breeze for the extra mana, but we are going to use Permafrost. We are going to use Hoarfrost. We are going to use Icy Torch. So we might get Snap Freeze. What we would do is we would take Frigid Breeze out and put it into Snap Freeze. We'd probably take Shimmering Teleport out too, so we could have 4 points and max out a Snap Freeze. So we'll test both of those out in PTR and see what it feels like. And then we are going to do Unstable Currents to get the extra attack speed because that means, yes, it means when you have the extra 25% attack speed, all of your Summons have 25% attack speed. Next, you're at 25% attack speed on 4 Hydras, 4 Ice Blades, and 2 Lightning Spears is going to be pretty good when they're all casting Frozen Orbs and everything. And then this we're going to play around with too. Avalanche, since it's Lucky Hit and we're focused on Lucky Hit, when we start getting to our actual skills and some of the points that we're going to have on our gear, I think this might be pretty good, but Shatter might be good too, especially if we switch over to Snap Freeze. So we'll see what that looks like. But that is the skill tree. It is looking pretty fantastic. And then we're going to get into the Paragon tree. And since we're going to be level 100 already, I thought it'd be a good idea to put together a level 100 Paragon tree. Yes, it's not going to happen right away when we start leveling up in season 4, but on the PTR, we could probably test this out. So you will want to see like what a tree I'd probably, play around with and try out. So this is just going to be Elementalist. I'll put this link in the description too, so you guys could see what I'm doing and kind of play around with it as well. So you could see that we got the Elementalist glyph, and then we got, love this. This is conjugation damage. So this is going into Elemental Summoner on the first tree off of the, the starting board. So you're gonna get a rare node. It's called Swift Conjure. It actually gets 15% skill damage to your conjure now. So, and then it gives you attack speed too. I think attack speed is gonna be very, very important. Like I just want to max out as much attack speed as I could. And then this legendary node, Elemental Summoner, is gonna be very important. Chainer's still going to be very good because it's going to buff all your Frozen Orb damage that you're doing, which that's what you want. You're going to get Frigid Breeze, Fate, so you could get the extra damage to anything that's damaged with cold, so up to 30% damage on cold. Control, because everything's going to be chilled, and then some things are going to be frozen as well. Some things are going to be stunned with Lightning Spear, so it's going to be really good too. So it's just everything's going to work together really well. We're going to go into, what did I go into here? This is the Enchantment Master. So you get all the non-physical damage because we're casting so many Frozen Orbs. This is where you're going to get the Winter Glyph. The Winter Glyph gives 125% to your rare nodes. So you're actually going to get buffs here and you're going to get buffs here. So now you get more physical damage. You get the extra cold damage, which is going to be fantastic. Then here I got Conjure, so up to 60%. So your Conjure kills 60%, or they gain 15% increased damage. So I'm hoping this works with the Frozen Orbs they cast, because also it gives 15% for each 5 intelligence that you have. So you're actually going to get like 140% damage to Conjure skills. I'm not sure. We're going to have to test that out as well. This is something we're going to test on the PTR. If this doesn't work, we have to like all give feedback saying, it isn't giving plus damage to my Frozen Orb when my Conjure is casting Frozen Orb with the Conjuring Glyph, because I could see something like this not working. So we gotta make sure we're giving that feedback if that happens. If not, if it's good, then it's good. And then we go into Destruction, because we are going to be critting. We are going to be doing lots of critting with our Conjures, and they should be getting this 194% extra crit damage from Destruction. So we'll have to test that as well, which is very important. And then the last one, we're just getting to Icefall, so we could get Frost Scales do increase 15% damage, and this should also be working with our Conjures. So we have to like test so much, and this might not be like the best Paragon tree, but I think this is something we could actually start testing. We also want to test this with Frostbite too, so we're going to throw Frostbite in and try that out. That's a willpower glyph, so we'll test that out too, so because it does damage to chilled. That's gonna be a fun build. We are gonna have some fun testing this on the PTR Tuesday. Come check out the live stream. We are streaming probably around like 7 p.m. We're gonna try to put this build together as fast as possible on the season 4 PTR. And then, so thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure to like the video to help with the algorithm. Subscribe and follow me on Twitch, because we are going to be live streaming on Tuesday, and it is going to be such a great time. And if you made it this far, happy Easter. Really appreciate you guys. Have a great day.